everybody, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Wube. If you are passionate about Christ, love and inspiration, you're definitely in the right place. So today, in the spirit of Speak Life September, I came to do a Dear Future Children story. Well, I'll just basically be reading from Stephen Covey's The 8th Habit. If you haven't read The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, I highly recommend that you do. And this one goes a little deeper into purpose and, you know, making a difference. I'm all about that. Yeah, I'm all about that. So yeah, so I'm going to be reading a story about Yunus, Muhammad Yunus, who set up a bank for the poor. So the reason why I wanted to keep a record of this story for our future kids is our goal, also maybe to hold ourselves accountable. As a personal goal, as a family goal, my husband and I would like to set a foundation for our kids financially where they don't have to begin from scratch. Our goal is to build generational wealth, but at the same time, it's not just about being rich. We want to be rich because we want to give back, we want to spread the gospel, we want to support churches, and we want to support orphans and widows, but in a meaningful way. So that's why it's important for us. And so this book is very timely. I literally accidentally stumbled upon it in my line manager's office and begged to borrow it. So it's not my copy in case you want to borrow it. It's on borrowed time too. So yeah, without further ado, I will not waste time. Dear future children, this is for you because we want you to give back from mommy and daddy with love. Okay. Muhammad Yunus's vision of a poverty-free world was set in motion with an event on the streets of Bangladesh. While interviewing him for my syndicated column on leadership, he shared his story with me. It all started 25 years ago. I was teaching economics at a university in Bangladesh. The country was in the middle of a famine. I felt terrible. Here I was teaching the elegant theories of economics in the classroom with all the enthusiasm of a brand new PhD from the United States. But I would walk out of the classroom and see skeletons all around me, people waiting to die. I felt that whatever I had learned, whatever I was teaching, was all make-believe stories with no meaning for the people's lives. I started trying to find out how people lived in the village next door to the university campus. I wanted to find out whether there was anything I could do as a human being to delay or stop the death, even for one single person. I abandoned the bird's eye view that lets you see everything from above, from the sky. I assumed a worm's eye view, trying to find whatever comes right in front of you. Smell it, touch it, see it, if you can do something about it. One particular incident took me in a new direction. I met a woman who was making bamboo stools. After a long discussion, I found out that she made only 2 US pennies each day. I couldn't believe anyone could work so hard and make such beautiful bamboo stools, yet make such a tiny amount of profit. She explained to me that because she didn't have the money to buy the bamboo to make the stool, she had to borrow from the trader. And the trader imposed the condition that she had to sell the product to him alone, at a price that he decided. And that explains the 2 pennies. She was virtually in bonded labor to this person. And how much did this bamboo cost? She said, oh, about 20 cents. For a very good one, 25 cents. I thought, people suffer for 20 cents. And there is nothing anyone can do about it. I debated whether I should give her 20 cents, but then I came up with another idea. Let me make a list of people who needed that kind of money. I took a student of mine and we went around the village for several days and came up with a list of 42 such people. When I added up the total amount they needed, I got the biggest shock of my life. It added up to $27. I felt ashamed of myself for being part of a society which could not provide even $27 to 42 hard-working, skilled human beings. To escape the shame, I took the money out of my pocket and gave it to my student, and I said, you take this money and give it to those 42 people that we met and tell them it's a loan, but they can pay me back whenever they are able to. In the meantime, they can sell their products wherever they can get a good price. And there's a quote down there that I really liked. It says, all that is necessary for the triumph of evil is that good men do nothing. The quote is by Edmund Burke. Okay, back to the story. After receiving the money, they were very excited, and seeing that excitement made me think, what do I do now? I thought the bank branch, which was located on the campus of the university, and I thought of the bank branch which was located on the campus of the university, and I went to the manager and suggested that he lend to the poor people that I had met in the village. He fell from the sky. He said, you are crazy. It's impossible. How could we lend money to poor people? They are not credit worthy. I pleaded with him and said, at least give it a try. Find out. It's only a small amount of money. He said, no, our rules don't permit it. They cannot offer collateral, and such a tiny amount is not worth lending. He suggested that I see the high officials in the banking hierarchy in Bangladesh. I took his advice and went to the people who matter in the banking section. Everybody told me the same thing. Finally, after several days of running around, I offered myself as a guarantor. I guarantee the loan, I'll sign whatever they want me to sign, and they can give me the money and I'll give it to the people I want to. So that was the beginning. They warned me repeatedly that the poor people who receive the money will never pay it back. I said, I'll take a chance. And the surprising thing was, they paid me every penny. I got very excited and came to the manager and said, look, they paid back. There was no problem. But he said, oh no, they're just fooling you. Soon they will take more money and never pay you back. So I gave them more money and they paid me back. I told this to him and he said, well, maybe you can do it in one village, but if you do it in 2 villages, it won't work. And I hurriedly did it in 2 villages and it worked. So it became a kind of struggle between me and the bank manager and his colleagues in the highest positions. They kept saying that the larger number, 5 villages, probably will show it. So I did it in 5 villages, and it only showed that everybody paid back. Still, they didn't give up. They said 10 villages, 50 villages, 100 villages. And so it became a kind of context between them and me. I came up with the results they could not deny because it was their money I was giving, but they would not accept it because they were trained to believe that poor people are not reliable. Luckily, I was not trained that way, so I could believe whatever I was seeing as it revealed itself. But the bankers' minds, their eyes were blinded by the knowledge they had. Finally, I had the thought, why am I trying to convince them? I am totally convinced that poor people can take money and pay it back. Why don't we set up a separate bank? That excited me, and I wrote down the proposal and went to the government to get the permission to set up the bank. It took 2 years to convince the government. On October 2nd, 1983, we became a bank, a formal independent bank. And what excitement for all of us, now that we had our own bank and we could expand as we wish and expand, we did. Then there's another quote that says, when you are inspired by some great purpose, some extraordinary project, all your thoughts break their bounds. Your mind transcends limitations. your consciousness expands in every direction, and you find yourself in a new, great, and wonderful world. The Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. So just a few lines after that. So Grameen Bank now works in more than 46,000 villages in Bangladesh through 1,267 branches and over 12,000 staff members. They have lent more than $4.5 billion in loans of $12 to $15, averaging $200. So I just really like this story, not only because of someone who was already comfortable looking outside of themselves to help people, but I also love it for purpose, understanding who you are, why you are put on this earth, and then just going all out for it. I think and I really love that story. I really, really love it. And so, dear future children, please, please, please do good in the world. Do good in a big, impactful way. And Mommy and Daddy are trying to do what's best to support you. Until the next video, thank you for stopping by. This has been your girl, Wupe, and thank you to our 9 subscribers. Until the next one.